Vancouver Quadra.
Mr. Speaker, it's been 6 months now that Canadians have been calling for clear responses concerning the Wright Duffy affair. But the only thing the government is doing is spouting nonsense and going on the attack. So let me ask a very simple question. According to the security logs of the PMO, Mike Duffy had a meeting in room 204 of the Langevin block on February 11th, 2013. Who did he meet with? The Honourable Minister of State.
I'm surprised to hear the Liberal Party, of all parties, ask about the Senate. In fact, the Liberal leader's position is that the Senate should say just the way it is because it provides, in his view, an advantage to Quebec over all other provinces. We on this side of the House believe that the Senate should serve all Canadians. That's why we brought in 12 tough new rules to ensure that spending by senators is honest and responsible. We have asked the Auditor General to conduct a thorough investigation of all senators' expenses going back 2 years. And we have asked the courts for a legal instruction manual on how the Senate can be reformed or potentially abolished.
The Honourable Member for Vancouver Quadra.
Just more attacks and bluster, Mr. Speaker. You do have to wonder just what the Conservatives are covering up. Here's another specific question. According to those same Prime Minister's Office logs, security logs, the next day, February 12, 2013, Senators David Kataychuk and Irving Gerstein attended separate meetings, also in room 204, Langevin block. Who precisely did they meet with?
Here we go. The Honourable Minister of State.
Well, Mr. Speaker, our position on the Senate is clear. Not only must Senate expenses be made responsible through 12 tough new rules, not only must the Auditor General have access to all the information on those expenses and a wide-ranging investigation, but the Senate itself must be reformed. That is why the Prime Minister has asked the Supreme Court of Canada for a legal instruction manual on how we can reform the Senate by allowing Canadians to vote on who should represent them there, and term limits so that senators serve a reasonable period of time rather than until age 75.
The Honourable Member for Vancouver Quadra.
Canadians demand accountability on what happened in the PMO, and we will not stop asking questions until we get real answers, not evasion. Those same PMO security logs indicate that an unidentified third party joined Senator Gerstein and his PMO host at that meeting on February 12, 2013. Who was that other person? Was it the Prime Minister? If not, who was it?
The Honourable Minister of State.
Mr. Speaker, 3 questions in a row and absolutely nothing about the middle class, nothing about consumers, nothing about taxpayers, nothing about families. They are focused, Mr. Speaker, on everything but the well-being of Canadian middle-class families. On this side of the House, we are delivering a plan that will make for more affordable consumer goods, a bigger market for our Canadian businesses so that we can create jobs, and, of course, the climax of our economic agenda today is the Prime Minister's successful conclusion of a free trade agreement with the largest economy in the world.
The Honourable Member for Toronto Danforth.